Did you know that there's often a connection between physical pain and a medical diagnosis and emotional pain? And if you're struggling with something that just is not getting better and you've tried all sorts of different treatments, or maybe doctors are having a hard time figuring out what's actually going on, this could be worth exploring. And often doctors will say, well, stress exacerbates that condition. And if you think about what stress is, it's always the lack of something. The lack of time, money, resources, access to resources, power, hope. And all of those are emotional issues. And maybe you have said to yourself, oh, that's the past. I'm not going to dwell on that. Or I don't want to be a victim. Or here's one I hear in my private practice all the time. It is what it is. So all of those expressions are sort of ways we're pushing emotion down. And that doesn't really work. And I'll tell you why. Your emotions are messengers. They're letting you know what you need. So when you ignore them, you're ignoring your needs. And that's its own sort of stress, because there's usually a lot of anger pushed down when you've had to sacrifice what's best for you to either keep the peace or please everyone or just take care of so many people, there's no time for you. And the funny thing about the energy of our emotions is they're kind of loyal. They stick around and wait to deliver that message, and they'll just sit in your body for decades if you don't listen to them. And there's a liquidity to your emotions. They're meant to be felt, expressed, and they become another form of energy. So when you're stuffing them down, they're taking up space, and your body doesn't really know what to do with them. They're supposed to get metabolized and flow and, serve you. And when they're sort of frozen and stuck, they're like a foreign substance. And it takes a lot of energy to keep everything pushed down. You may not even be aware of that, but all that inner resources that you expend keeping things locked away is affecting your health and your well-being, because there's less energy for your system to function and do what it needs to do to keep you healthy. And here's another interesting thing to consider. 80% of people who are diagnosed with some kind of autoimmune issue are women. So what's going on there? And of course, a lot of us as women have been socialized to put on a smile, say that's okay, push everything down, and sacrifice at our own expense. And eventually that catches up with you. And sometimes a medical diagnosis is the only time we let ourselves say no or start to take care of ourselves. And one thing that I like to pay attention to in my private practice is the words that people use, because all of us do this. And they're often a reflection of what's going on in the world inside of you. Think of that expression, felt like a punch to my gut, or something stabbed me in the back. There could be pain and emotional issues connected to gut intestinal issues. That was a lot to swallow. There could be bitterness or anger about something that you had to just take, and that could be mirrored somewhere in your esophagus or lungs. Think of the expression, somebody's getting on my nerves. Who is getting on your nerves? And how is that maybe showing up in nerve issues? I feel backed against a wall. When you don't have backing and support, that often is very stressful. And if you think of our spine that's holding us up, there's often some issues around that connected to back problems. And what's another one I've seen in my practice? shouldering a lot of responsibility. There can be emotional issues connected to that. And it's not that the pain isn't real. Of course it is. And it's not that you don't deserve physical healing, but addressing your emotional well-being, your spiritual well-being can really enhance your health. And that's really what being holistic is. A lot of holistic practitioners only deal with the physical. So if that was interesting to you, subscribe to Delight the World, and maybe my next video will be some techniques that I use that you could practice to sort of get a sense of what may be contributing to some of these physical issues. And if you liked this video, please remember this, that some days you can radiate your light, some days you just need to receive light. And wherever you are on your journey of being the light, you're always welcome to connect here at Delight the World for hope, healing, and illumination. And thanks for watching.